The Hackman is in the hall. His growing boulder journey through tragedy and triumph led him to incredible heights. We'll take you inside the latest chapter of his amazing story. Then, why are you putting an age limit on your dreams? Follow in the barefoot steps of a group of people who say, never stop doing what you love. Plus,
I've always thought that he didn't feel a lot. He didn't have a lot of emotions.
I think it's inside, though.
I do. And, you know, all I can say is I'm sorry he didn't figure that out a long time ago.
what Toni Tennille tells us about a lifetime spent with the captain, Daryl Dragon, and why she wanted to be with him in his final moments despite the challenges they faced as a couple. What's most important to you? What really matters? Remember when you thought the future was filled with limitless possibility? It still is. Dreams don't have an expiration date. It's not too late to find your purpose, to live with passion, to make an impact in the lives of others and in the world we live in. Stop growing older and start growing bolder.
Support for Growing Bolder provided by
Hi, I'm Mark Middleton, and this is Growing Bolder. David Hackett's life story reads like a Hollywood script. A surfer turned skateboarder who became a world champion, a mother murdered by his brother, a descent into drug and alcohol addiction, a battle with cancer, and an extreme recovery that not only turned his life around, but the lives of many others. The one constant in Dave's life has been skateboarding, and in a moment we'll share the story of his ultimate triumph. But first, in his own words, the secret to life.
This is a big part of what traps people is they're either thinking about the past. What are you going to do about that? Nothing. You can't change the past. It's gone. Or they're thinking about the future and worrying about how they're going to act or what they're going to do, Really? You're missing the moment of where you're at right now. That's what life is. It's about now, right here, this moment. This is it. This is the best it's going to get, and it's awesome. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of where people need to live, in the here and now, because that's where life is, that's where God is, that's where Spirit is. It's right here, man. If you're thinking about the past, you're living in regret. If you're thinking about the future, you're living in anxiety, worrying. You know what I mean? But if you live in the here and now, you are right where you're supposed to be and embracing life in all its glory. That's it. It's very simple. But people want to complicate it,
Despite being a skateboarding icon, one of a handful of riders who actually transformed it from a hobby into an international sport and a multi-billion-dollar business, Hackett had been passed over by the Skateboarding Hall of Fame not once, but multiple times. Growing Bolder produced a mini documentary on Hackett in an effort to help him get the recognition that we felt he deserved. And we were there when he finally did. It's a night more than 50 years in the making. David Hackett is about to be inducted into the Skateboarding Hall of Fame.
Yeah, buddy! When I heard that he was getting inducted, I felt like our whole family was getting inducted because he deserves it every day that he wakes up to goes to sleep. He just eats and breathes skateboarding and gives so much to it.
This is the 9th annual Skateboarding Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and after being nominated 8 times, Hackett is finally being recognized with the legends of his sport.
It is a life-changing moment for him. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's something that he's aspired to for the last 40 years.
Well, here we are. It's happening tonight, and I'm really, really excited, and I'm very humbled and very honored, to tell you the truth. And it's like my family, I've been skateboarding for 50 years, and I literally have a relationship with every person in this room. They've either seen me wipe out or we've stood on the podium together.
Hackett started skateboarding in 1965 at the age of 5. In the late 70s, he and his crew helped transform it from something to do when they couldn't surf into a worldwide sport and a thriving global industry.
They really the guys that founded it all. You know, without those guys, skateboarding would not be what it is today. So in a sense, like, anyone that rides a skateboard and thinks that it's edgy and cool and like the counterculture aspect of it, they have guys like Hackett to thank for it. You know, they are the original creators of what skateboarding really is.
David, get up here. Let's give it up for David Hackett.
Hackett won his first world championship at the age of 15 and his last, at least so far, in his mid-50s.
In 2016, I was able to win the tight slalom at the World Championships in Ashland, Kentucky at the age of 55. I'm pretty stoked on that. This represents 40 years of non-stop professional competition skateboarding for me. Of course, I have ridden endless and countless pools, parks, pipes, ramps, and schools in between, but I have never once stopped skateboarding between those two world titles in over 40 years. I've never even considered stopping.
For more than 50 years, skateboarding has been the one constant in a life filled with one challenge after another. When his brother murdered their mother, when he battled a drug and alcohol addiction, and when he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
Skateboarding will always be my first love and the thing that makes my heart sing. To me, it is total freedom. Skateboarding is the most incredible thing that you can do. It's pure stoke, friendship, camaraderie with all you other skateboarders. It's amazing. No matter what color, no matter what gender, no matter what age, 8 to 80, skateboarding crosses all those barriers because skateboarding is really a combination of balance, speed, technique, power, knowledge, love, hate, respect, fear, and style.
Here to watch David being honored as one of the greatest in the history of his sport is his father, Malcolm, who was never a fan of his son's greatest passion.
My father said skateboarding is never going to go anywhere and that I should quit now and go to school because if I continue to skateboard, I would never amount to anything. Now that is motivation to never stop. And I'm not here to, rip on my dad, but I gotta tell you, sorry Dad, but that inner dialogue played in my head and continued to fuel my drive to make skateboarding something to be proud of, and ultimately my father proud of me. So thanks for that, Dad, I love you.
David Hackett has been a professional skateboarder for over 40 years. He'll never stop riding, never stop promoting the sport that he loves, and never stop pitching himself to potential sponsors.
I will always be 100% surf skater for life, and I'm open to any new sponsorships like Band-Aid, Advil, Motrin, and Jacuzzi, and of course, any hair removal products.
David Hackett has ridden his skateboard into the Hall of Fame. His dream is realized, his legacy is secured, and his father is proud. 100% surf skater for life. Finding your life's passion early in life is a real blessing, but continuing to pursue it throughout your life can be difficult because life intervenes. Now is the time to discover and pursue your passions. Here are 4 tips to help you get started. Reconnect with the passions of your youth. Everyone says don't live in the past, but I think we take that advice too literally. Reconnecting with our past as a means of informing our present and inspiring our future can be a powerful technique. So what did you love to do or want to do when you were younger but couldn't or had to give up? Start there. Ready, fire, aim. Try anything that's even remotely interesting. Say yes to social engagements that you might have blown off otherwise, because once you're off the couch and engaged in life, you'll be exposed to activities and opportunities that you didn't know existed. Then you can zero in on what interests you the most. Start today. Don't be a wannabe. Almost everyone wants to do something important, exciting, or meaningful, except that it's too difficult or requires a commitment. They love the fantasy, but they trip over the reality. The one and only day to start transforming your future is today. Any other day is simply procrastination. And once you find something that you're passionate about, go all in. Join a club, find a mentor, do it part-time or as a volunteer or an intern, and always be looking for a way to monetize your passion. This especially applies to those in their 20s and 30s and 40s. The greatest gift you can give your future self is the ability to make a living beyond the age of 65 at something you enjoy. Like David Hackett, Harry and Artis Price haven't bought into the idea that they're too old to keep pursuing their passion. For more than 60 years now, they've been in love with each other and with water skiing. The Prices have skied in more national championships than any other man or woman in history, and they have the gold medals and the trophies to prove it. And they say they'd rather hang out on the lake than on the couch, so retiring from the sport they love is something they don't even think about. And if you really love something, why let age or even disability keep you from continuing? Karen Putz lost her hearing while barefoot water skiing as a teenager. After 25 years away from the sport, she reconnected with the passion of her youth and has never looked back. It's led her to new friendships, new adventures, and even a new business as a motivational speaker, helping others pursue their passions.
Here we go, everybody. Now the first try, get out there, put my feet in the water, and I felt 17 again. You know, I mean, the years literally melted away. It was like, oh my gosh, the same old feelings, the passion, I can't explain it. So you put your feet on the water and you come alive.
The other woman in that video is Judy Myers. In her mid-70s, she's the oldest woman competing internationally in the sport of barefoot water skiing. Judy and Karen bonded over their shared passion. If you find what you love, odds are you'll also find people to love who share that passion. Of course, everyone loved Banana George Blair, one of the most famous water skiers of all time. George defied all of the odds by continuing to barefoot water ski until he was 93, despite multiple back surgeries and serious illness. Banana passed away at 96, but his legacy lives on in his personal mantra. I don't wait for the next thing to happen, I make it happen. Growing bolder is about making the next thing happen.
You know, it sure seems like there's something about being around water that brings together people who have an awful lot of personality. You're about to climb in a boat with some guys who like to razz each other as much as they like to barefoot ski. Oh, and they can drop some haymakers too. When these guys get together, they all come to life, probably just like when they were decades younger. Yeah, skiing keeps them healthy and fit, but these guys, they do it for the fun.
This is how a man gets it.
That's what we do.
We're the Jersey Boys. 4 of us from New Jersey, and Don is our honorary member.
Jersey Boys rule!
Our feet are the most precious thing we own. We never touch our feet. We need those to walk on water. How many people can say they walk on water?
It's when we get together and go crazy that things start to happen. We say, all right, let's try this. Probably not a good idea. We do it anyway. And that's why we're here, really, to get away from what's going on up in Jersey, get down here and just have fun. Hi, I'm Marty Levine. I'm an osteopathic family physician, and I'm 63 years old.
I'm Don Simon. I'm addicted to barefoot water skiing. I'm 78 years old and love life.
I'm Fred Steinbaum. I'm a retired medical oncologist. I'm 76 years old, and I really am addicted to water skiing also.
Hello, I'm Dan Wicks, Sparky, AKA, and I'm a retired railroad worker, and I'm addicted to water skiing, barefooting.
I'm Ron Kuntz. I'm 62 years old. I'm a maintenance worker, and I love barefooting.
My name is John DeBellick. I'm 54 years old. I'm a self-employed master plumber, plumbing contractor in Wisconsin who water skis every day that it's physically possible.
Ted Eisenstadt from New Jersey, 75 years old, and fortunate to have these guys as friends to keep me skiing.
Let go! Don't spray it!
Idiot.
Don, I like your new toupee for this shoot. It really looks good on you. How are you going to keep it on your head?
The way nature put it. It grows every month and I get it cut every month.
And that special glue?
I don't have to use glue. I've got special skin that adheres hair to scalps that never changes.
That's unbelievable. That must mean you have no testosterone.
Just grab the bar, follow the boat. That's what you're supposed to do.
Grab the bar, follow the boat. That's a lot to remember.
I know.
Would you
you
go over that again? Go over that again, please. Grab
Follow
the boat and grab the boat and follow the bar.
Yeah.
I got it. We get expert instruction here. You may notice.
Okay, do it again.
That's like NASCAR. The crashes are better than the actual race.
Yeah. That's good.
I envy them. I mean, to be their age and do that day in and day out. I just hope my body holds together that long so I can do that too.
But personally, you asked about our relationship. I can't stand these guys. I mean, they are the worst pain in the... They're fighting all the time.
TV, watch.
Ooh, I'm sorry. But it's like, you know how you hate your brother?
Yeah.
Well, they're sort of like brothers. You know what I mean?
We
Can't
drove
stand
down
them. Makes me laugh. It just makes me happy. It makes me laugh. And it releases endorphins. And it makes me feel good. I feel like hugging these guys. Can you imagine that?
I'm getting in the boat. I'm getting in the boat.
It's not about trying to stay in shape getting older. You don't think about getting older. I mean, when
you're
someone
living, you're doing what you
right,
love.
it's fun.
Like Don always says, there's never a bad day when you get to barefoot. You know, I don't know of any other sport that everybody that you meet is in really good shape. And there's a reason for that. It's because they're doing the sport. When we go skiing, we forget about any kind of stress or pressure in our lives. Anything that would be bothering you, that you'd be thinking about, because you can't think about that. You got to think about what you're doing in order to do it well and not even fall or get hurt.
Woo! Good run, guys.
Hey, guys, it worked.
I don't think about my age, and I don't think I'll ever stop. Don't you wish you could pass for 70 so you could ski with us now?
They have the best time every time they get together. Just hanging out with them was a blast. They make you want to get in the water with them, which brings up some things we should all try to do. Number one, find what you love to do and do it. Maybe it's something new. Maybe it's something you did years ago. Whatever, dive right in and start it. Number two, everything is better when you do it with friends. Old friends, new friends, doesn't matter. It's the camaraderie that keeps things exciting and keeps you interested. And number three, when you combine a passion for what you do with who you're with, you don't ever have to force yourself. You're going to maximize your health and happiness every single time.
If you want to keep moving, you have to keep moving. It's really that simple. As we age, fitness is not about six-pack abs or a bikini body. It's about flexibility, range of motion, and mobility. It's about functional fitness. The overarching goal of functional fitness is to help maintain our independence for as long as possible.
My husband John and I have owned our store for over 3 decades. That makes me sound old, but because I run, I'm certainly not old. But I want to tell you, we have seen folks from all walks of life come into our store to start an exercise program, and sometimes they were scared. They thought, I can't do this. And little by little, we have seen them motivate themselves, be motivated by our staff, and we've seen what they can do to make the difference in their life just with walking and running. I have a customer who came in one day, very overweight. He was on 9 medications for diabetes. A year later, I saw him again, and he let me know he was off every single pill. And that was because he was motivated enough to start a running and walking program. And there's a moral to that story. You can do this. Everybody can. Everybody can take that first step to a walking or running routine and be just as confident as that man was.
You can learn more at growingbolder.com/launch.
When I got into television in 1983, I spent a day with a talent consultant to polish my self-admittedly raw skills. After half a day with her, she told me that there are many other jobs in TV that aren't on camera. I wasn't discouraged. I defied her assessment of my ability and built a pretty darn good 25-year television career. I've been defiant all my life. It's brought victories and sometimes defeat, but I never regretted pushing back. I think defiance is underutilized. Too often we hear or experience or feel something and choose to take the path of least resistance. Make no mistake about it, going with the flow and not challenging what's in front of you is a choice. You are choosing the less awesome option. You are letting life happen to you. The other way is more challenging, scary at times, not always successful, but at least you tried. I'm in a clinical trial now that has a 10% success rate for participants, but for the first time in months, my cancer is not progressing. My doctor and I defied a 90% failure rate of this trial, and it looks like we found success. It's a graphic example that you should never give up. Defy.
In 2019, Daryl Dragon, better known as one half of the 1970s musical duo, the Captain and Tennille, died at the age of 76. Despite the fact that Daryl and Toni Tennille divorced in 2014 after nearly 40 years of marriage, the two remain close, speaking nearly every week. Toni was also at Daryl's side when he died. We spoke with Toni Tennille before Daryl's death, and she shared her candid thoughts on her life, her career, and her marriage to her singing partner. Despite their famous song, "Love Will Keep Us Together," Toni admitted to us that the negativity the relationship brought her was too toxic, and she made the decision to end the marriage.
Well, you know, Daryl was never anything but what he was. When he was on our television show, people thought that that was a character he made up. That was Daryl. You know, he just was awkward and uncomfortable because he was. He never had the experience I had in front of the crowds, and he didn't want it.
So what did you have?
Well, we made really great music together, I think. We were kind of each other's muse. The one thing I always knew about Daryl is that he thought I was a really great singer and a really fine songwriter. And one of the ways I could get approval from him, you know, because he couldn't really express emotions, but one of the ways I could get the approval was I would write a song and he'd say, okay, and he'd go in the studio and start working on it. And he'd make some wonderful record out of it, you know. So I knew that I had his attention that way. I don't know. I'd hate to think that he's in pain. I've always thought that he didn't feel a lot. He didn't have a lot of emotions.
I think it's inside, though.
I do. I missed out on, you know, the kind of love where two people walk along and they hold hands, or, you know, they sit and watch TV together and eat popcorn. He was never that kind of a guy, ever, you know, and I missed out on that, but so many other wonderful things.
Toni moved to Arizona in 2017 to be close to Daryl and to help care for him toward the end of his life. After his death, Toni shared a statement in which she called Daryl a brilliant musician with many friends and said that she had been at her most creative when she was with him. I'm constantly amazed at the never-ending battle between the anti-aging advocates and the aging sucks, just accepted proponents. It's either a pie-in-the-sky pursuit of unachievable immortality or a demoralizing acceptance of physiological decline. This is really an easy one, folks. There is a large and malleable middle ground that offers both truth and optimism. I often say that age isn't a disease, it's an opportunity. It would be more accurate to say that age isn't a disease unless we believe it to be, in which case it will most assuredly become one. Likewise, age isn't an opportunity unless we believe it to be. Whether we want it or not, whether we decide to wield it or not, we have a great deal of power over how we age. Of course, bad things can happen to good people, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to extract every moment of joy out of life that's possible. The key is not to mourn what's lost, but to celebrate what remains, to not identify with loss and limitation, but to embrace passion and possibility. We're not going to defeat aging, but we can turn it into one hell of a ride. And we do that by growing bolder. We'll see you next time.
Support for Growing Bolder provided by More information about all of the stories you've seen here today is available at growingbolder.com/TV. And you can get inspired to keep rebranding aging when you connect with the Growing Bolder community on Facebook.
Growing Bolder apparel is available for $25 plus shipping and handling. A companion book, Growing Bolder, Defy the Cult of Youth, Live with Passion and Purpose by Mark Middleton, is available as well for $25 plus shipping and handling. And you can subscribe to Growing Bolder magazine, 4 quarterly issues for $29.97 a year. Order online at growingbolder.com/TV.